keep this. So again, just to welcome you back. I am recording now. What I was saying was, I basically started off by explaining the common expressions, as you can see here in this list. Such an auric field, like I like her energy. There's something about them, but something about that person, but I can't put my sixth sense. It's a gut feeling, non-linear. It's not logical. And we brush and sweep it away. And here we just had a quick conversation. You know, you're on the same wavelength, that resonates with me, you tune in, you focus, but also personal space. And this is where I left off before I realized we needed to record. Basically, even see that person behind you. And then you begin, if you're somebody who has a very opened consciousness, you're not aware of it, you could take on the energies of others. And that's the empaths out there. Because you're here to learn how to tune into your feeling, your seeing, and to open up to those metaphysical senses as well, because aura readings isn't just about what you see, although we're going to practice all aspects. So it's literally, you can feel the people in the lineup. I was at an airport once, and this is before I was doing any course, knew what was happening to me. I just knew that I was very sensitive and I can pick up on the energies of others, but I brushed it off. I was in lineup and I was at the Halifax airport, and I remember I fell into line, and then somebody out of my peripheral showed up behind me. I didn't see them, but social anxiety. I felt like I was clammy and hot at the same time, but I never physically saw him. I realized I got so anxious, I felt like I needed to jump out of the lineup, but I'm not a socially anxious person. I'm not a nervous person. I was in the Tim Hortons lineup. I looked around and it was exactly what I was feeling, and he jumped out of line. He was having a panic attack and I was picking up on it. That is when I realized there's something in this non-physical that I wanted to explore, because a kid, any of you have experience seeing energy around people, or whizzing lights, or at the side of your eyes, and then when you turn, it's gone? Those beautiful energies that we can see with the non-physical, right? So keeping on with this, you could feel sadness all of a sudden, but it's not yours. You're in an energy field. You're picking up on the auric field of the ones that you're working with, or the ones that you love, and you're sitting down on the couch. Are you sad, or are you in a funk today? You just know. And also, you can tell when someone's staring at you. You could tell, you could feel, and 9 times out of 10, when you turn around, you knew it. You just felt like that invasion of your private space. Other things that happen with where do auras show up? Literally in everything that exists. We're going to talk about why, because it's energy. So if you've ever touched an object, you could feel either vibration, or you could sense or see. That's what psychometry, or they'll go into paranormal investigators will go into environments and touch the walls, because it's energy. There's imprint with information. And that's what happens. My mother had a purse that was at a bazaar, a church bazaar. And for weeks, she kept getting a heavy feeling every time she would bring it out to go run an errand. And when she would pick the purse up, she had the feeling, I feel like this belonged to a senior citizen who passed away. And I think she doesn't want her daughter to give her possessions away. And I'm like, Mom, how would you know all this? That's just, that's amazing. No sooner did she have that thought, did she open up the panel and unzip the zipper and saw the name of a person, which was common. My mother, who was a personal care worker at a senior citizen home, the people who lived there, the residents, would always write their names and their things. And she was like, I knew it. So objects carry information. So of course we do. We have, wherever we're hanging out emotionally, whatever is inspiring from our thoughts, our body is going to be incredibly creating constant influx because it's our aura field is never the same. Our aura field is always up and down with life, and it's we have the ability to frequent at low vibrations, neutral and very high bursts of frequency. And we'll get to those slides when they come. But we can also become more aware of how to wield it as an energy healer, because that is one of the most highest aspects about being able to tune in and tap into the auric field and the energy is so that we could cleanse and heal it. Like why is it useful to do that? Right? And it's so useful because we are always blocking out our ability to see our divinity. We have bought into the reality of the physical plane, and we have closed ourselves off to only validate or check box what's real or the physical things that we can see with our eyes. We don't have, many of us, except for you guys who are showing up on this call, are open-minded to understand and to really harness what this means. So the trees, here's a list, the trees, the nature, the grass, this is a mushroom. You see this picture here? This is the energy vibration of a live mushroom. Look at the life that it is just emanating. And the leaves give off color. The dog's aura, I thought that was so cute. I borrowed these images. And then down here, if you are someone like I was, how I started off seeing and experiencing auric fields was because I was going through some, depression, dark night of the soul. I was young, trying to find my way, breakups, feeling insecure, struggling in a job, trying to pay my rent. I was low frequency. In fact, I had anxiety. I began to become very opened in my auric field. I wasn't taking good care of my auric field, which we're going to talk about, ways to really strengthen it and become more aware consciously. And I began to notice and see, because it's something that came back when I was a child, right? I began to see entities of light and gooky blogs and darkness around the heads of some people. And these are my personal stories. I saw when I was in high school, a student that I met out of the blue. I went to a pool party and I met her, and indoor pool party in March. It was freezing outside. It was awesome. But I remember feeling so depressed and sad when I met her. And I felt so overcome by emotional despair that I didn't know what to do with it, because I felt her but didn't understand the aura, why I didn't see it at that time. And then I eventually found out, because I was so inquisitive about her through a mutual friend. She had just lost her dad. Her brother was in a wheelchair, and she lived alone as a teen, a 17-year-old teen, and it was her party. And I was like, oh my goodness, what's going on with me? And then I saw a policeman at a bar. He was undressed, off duty. And I sat at the bar with my friend, we were just having a drink, and I was like 20 something. And I sat there and I looked over, and all I could see was his aura. It was sludgy, almost like a cloud. And I felt the need to scoop in and move it. I don't know what gave me that guidance, but I didn't, because I was, this is a stranger. Not even 5 minutes into that conversation, I ended up learning some very deep sorrow and loss that he experienced from an accident that he felt very responsible for, and that cloud was guilt and shame. So all these amazing experiences were happening, and my brother's friend, like I could go on, but I don't want to. I just want to show you that how it might show up is we could practice and become very, and work with it in a very healing way where it has usefulness. That wasn't useful. So if you are having unuseful connections and you don't know what to do with it, I would love to support you. And I'm going to tell you how to work with me deeper and to how to take this conversation further at the end of our workshop. But also, have you seen paintings and pictures of angels and saints and ascended masters like Jesus? They all are depicted with halos. Insight, awakening, conscious, love, and light, right? And that's essentially, even in Egyptian times, divine halo. So I just thought that was incredible because it's been an ancient practice and teaching. And some of the things that I wanted to talk about is the layers tonight. We're going to take a look. We're going to actually practice seeing into our mind's eye, and we're going to ask to go in to see the different layers, because there's an astral body and it is encompasses all of it. And you see this picture down here. How many of you, I'm going to just stop the slides because before I do that, I want to tell you that it flows in all directions. So if you think pictures like the old world chakra systems that showed the perfect, the violet and the indigos and the blues and the emerald greens or pinks, and then the solar plexus is like this brilliant yellow, and the sacral is this beautiful shades of orange. The root chakra, which is at the base of the body, is red. Well, that is the colors of the rainbow in perfect order, but also there's so much meaning, and there's so much energy, vibration, and it's color, it's light color, and it has a frequency of emotion, and and it has a frequency of where it hangs out. And there's an incremental emotional scale that will visit, and will also visit the brain waves. So basically what I'm trying to explain is that a perfect chakra may look like, if you can imagine, I think I actually have some pictures here of the perfect chakra right there. See this guy sitting all happy and perfect? We often do not show up in life, and we have thoughts, we're in a hurry, we're excited, we have the opposite. So you might have this amplified heart of love and light. This is a neutral, perfect, pure, toxic free body. So I have never felt or seen a perfection, unless maybe I saw Jesus or an angel in my vision, or an ascended master. But I always see aura fields with so much information and so much uniqueness to it. And even if you had one of those photonic pictures from those cameras that take pictures and images of your auric field, like our dog and our person here, it's always going to change. It's going to evolve and move. So now I just wanted to ask the layers of before I do that, layers close to the body. When I see the auric field, when I'm in, many people can train themselves to see the auric field. And we're going to talk about how to begin to open up your awareness to that. And I'll describe how I see it. But also, layers, it's limitless as creation based on expanding. So how far the field, the distance? Well, the scientific measurement, I've heard that different layers can be from a few inches to feet, from 3 to 6 feet. But if you tune in and you begin to do energy healing and you begin to experience it, there's no boundary. It's boundaryless, because we become one with all aspects of creation. And I'm going to talk about how that's possible. But before I do, I wanted to just stop the slides for now and ask just to check in with each of you. Who here, and you can either put a chat down. I think that we've got, yeah. All the attendees are here, perfect. So if you want to either open up, unmute yourself and say, like, what experiences have you had? Like, has anyone here felt the field, or can see the field, or just has a clear cognizance of space, or people staring at them, they just know? Has anyone experienced any of these? And this is a beginner course, you don't have to have any of these. How about, has anyone ever seen at the corner of their eye flashes of light, and then they look and it's gone? Okay, wonderful. So some of you have. And we're going to practice. I'm going to teach you how. So back to the slides. I just wanted to check in, and I see somebody has a chat. Yes, I'm going to have the slides available, but believe me, they're not that great to look at, but you can listen to the video and get more out of it. But of course, if you want, I will definitely supply you with the slides. Nina asked, yes, with people I know. That's great. So the one of the reasons we become so in tune with the people because we are emotionally invested. So those are the ones we're just going to have a feeling, right? We're going to have a feeling like there's just, I want to call this person, or when you see them, you just know something's not quite right, but they're not sharing. Exactly. And as you get really practiced in your energy field and you're very sensitive and open, you'll be so sensitive over the work and the meditation that I've done over 12 years. I can feel often, I can feel when somebody is thinking of me because they show up in my auric field because we have a consciousness. Much like being a channeler, if you had a reading with me and asked about a relative on the other side of the world or in the ethers in heaven, we are not separate. I'm able to connect and be a medium to bring that. We are not separate. Our energy is so amazing. And I wanted to give you very brief understanding about what that looks like because my next slide is all about energy. So field of energy, our bodies are made up of up to 50 trillion cells equal to 30 to 40 watts and in short burst up to 2000. So that is incredible. We can imagine what we can generate. And I've seen so many YouTube videos and so many incredible biophysics studies and neurologists such as Bruce Lipton. If you don't know who Bruce Lipton is, he's phenomenal at explaining our field of energy and the cells and our biology. And then the other guy is Dr. Joseph Dispenza, who I absolutely love to follow. And if any of you know him, he is so good at explaining how we are far more than this physical. We are superhuman and we are beyond what we think, our genetics. We are beyond this. But for conversation for outside of this workshop. So it's also a subtle energy and it's visible. Yes, I see many people scientifically, they can explain seeing it through devices and machines. But we know that we have the capacity, our own ability, these physical eyes and metaphysical senses to tap in far beyond what science has, but they're increasing their scientific discoveries, improving it. So what we have is the ability to use, we can close our eye and use our mind's eye. Most people begin to see auric fields as just colors of light. That's how I began to see it with that policeman at the bar, with all of the other ways that was kind of sporadically happening, but not at will. I just didn't know how to really harness the skill. And it would just happen during really energy where it was very gross or very high. I was not able to tap into the subtle light or the subtle emotions that came with practicing intuitive development. But what I can tell you, I began at extremes and it wasn't always useful. And so the subatomic, immaterial, non-physical vortex of energy waves that makes up everything in existence. Every single trillion, the 50 trillion cells that are in your body are vortexes of energy. And it's connection with every particle in space and beyond, and every object we come in contact with. Even my cat that perches next to me here, we are not separate from Earth. And I get that you who showed up on this workshop get that. And you get that, but we forget it. We feel separate because we get lost in the physical life that we live. And so basically we are in a soup around us. I call it the space around us like a soup of communication. There's so much information. And if you're interested in gardening or you're interested in starting a new hobby or taking yoga, the universe that you're one with will start bringing opportunity, people, experiences, and repetition. That's how, angel numbers and all those things start to pop up because we are not separate. So brainwave scale, we're going to start to exercise in a minute. So when we are in the consciousness, this is where we can begin to bring ourselves in to become aware through the gamma, which is having the ability to tune in and tap into the infinite. It's a portal into oneness that we're all spirit. We're all spiritual beings having a physical experience. We are a child of God. We are a part of this vast creation. And when we tune in and become conscious, there's nothing that we cannot connect with. And we are blocked and we have fears and we limit ourselves. And through skills and practicing and techniques, we can become one with all of our abilities, our intuitive abilities. And so I wanted to show you, if you are someone who likes to see the process of how we are opening up through becoming aware of our inner being. Becoming aware brings you into the present moment. So that's literally what this is all about. When we are not in the present moment, we're hanging out in worrying about the past or anticipating or impatient or uncertainty about the future. So if we are in the present moment, we begin to move up the brain waves, the frequency that we can connect with that higher, we can have all of these mental alertness and all those things too in the physical, but we become more conscious. Sometimes when we're sleeping, we're in the theta and the alpha, and that's when we start to feel, we hear a guide or an angel or see someone call our name, or we just wake up and we have vivid dreams, right? And why don't we have that during waking hours? We're not separate, and we can see the divinity to others. We can see auric fields, but we're asleep because we're survivor mode. I got work to do. I have to worry about all the tasks to do. So we want to be able to practice being mindful and more conscious, because then we could build that muscle of awakening to our divinity. And the reason is, here's a good way of looking at the emotional scale, and we're going to do our first exercises. So it's like enlightenment, vibrating up to 700. That's like, I'm in my peace. I just had a salt bath. I went for a nature walk. Yeah, I may have stress in my life, but I have been able to still be present and tune in to this natural state of peace. I'm able to practice being in peace and joy, right? But if you're always hanging out down in the fear energy, surviving, you're going to your frequency, your body frequency will be lower, and you will see, or you'll be more attracted, and the universe will bring you a vibrational match to more of that. So when I was at the bar, I was going through growing up, and I was depressed and trying to struggle in my job and figure out who I was. And I was recently dumped. And that's because I was frequencing with the energies of others. And I believe that's how we create, how we pull and attract people to us, is where we're vibrating. No differently, are we in the physical reality? Are we in the spirit life? So we want to, does it mean that I have to always be happy, joyful, and peaceful and loveful? Absolutely not. It doesn't mean that. You could still shift into those awarenesses, but what it does mean is become aware, be more present, and you will have more useful experiences and more useful ways of connecting with spirit. Does that make sense? So the first exercise, okay, I'm going to take a look at this slide, but I want to come out and so you can see me, but it's literally bringing your hands. So first of all, I want to ground and center us. So I want us to all just take a moment to breathe and get present. Bring our energy up to 700, 2000 watts. Okay, so here we go. We're going to just start with the physical. To ground yourself is where your power is. To ground yourself is where we increase the brain waves, calm ourselves, and up level our vibration. So begin with just noticing your breath, being physically aware of this moment through breath. When you breathe in, just breathe out with your mouth. Just exhale with clearing. Wonderful. And with each inhale, scan your body. Scan with your mind. Close your eyes. And with each inhale, you'll begin to become aware of just a softness. So in your auric field, in your energy body, you'll begin to become aware of the presence of energy. Maybe you have some tension or heat in your shoulders. Maybe you're becoming aware of your physical body where there's your muscles in your solar plexus are tight, or the band across your forehead, your thinking, your intellect is tight. Bring softness to these muscles now just by physically releasing them on the exhale. And scan your body and do this on your own for the next few breaths by grounding and clearing. Breathing in, breathing out. And on each exhale, just notice how much softer you begin to feel, more tranquil. And just bring softness to the tension or stress that you carried. And now just leaving your palms open and receiving, we begin to open up to the infinite energy source as it connects with all cells of our body. And as we light up even more, we really up-level that light that's within us. We begin to feel more vibration. We just begin to see more light in our third eye and within us. And now as we have created this groundedness, just allow yourself to visualize a cord of etheric light from your field of energy, branching out like growing vines down effortlessly into Mother Earth. Just allow yourself to connect and ground yourself. You might even see the red chakra color pouring in, or vibrant, earthy colors. And as you breathe in and out, just notice how grounded we feel in this Mother Earth, this physical, beautiful essence that we came here to reside in and to experience our spiritual essence. We are one with spirit and the physical. And I want you to amplify that energy by noticing as you bring your hands up and begin to rub your hands together. Maybe you feel heat. You can keep your eyes closed, or you can open them and just see if you can begin to feel in your auric field amplification of energy when we rub our hands together. And now begin to open your hands. And I'm just going to stop sharing so I can see everybody in the panel. Here we are. Yeah, I want to just find out how. I'm going to guide you. Continue just to rub. And I want you to open your hands now and close your eyes. And I want you to connect with this ball of energy that we are intentionally just becoming aware of. And breathe a few times to bring yourself into calm and peace again. And just allow yourself to feel this ball of energy. You may even begin to feel heat or tingling on the subtle fingers or chakra. Bring your hands slowly in together and push up against it like this imaginary mushroom or marshmallow feeling. And when you come in, without touching your hands, play around and experience this auric energy field, bringing your hands close together just an inch, and slowly pull your hands away. And notice the pulling, the magnitude, the magnification, that push and pull that's happening from your energy field. Just allow yourself to just feel that within your hands. And just notice the texture of it. And you may also become aware that it's not just in your hands. And as we open our hands in a further receiving posture and allow yourself, even though we haven't got to this exercise yet, allow yourself to see energy within your mind. Try opening your eyes and closing your eyes to see what that is being shown to you in your awareness. Is it a kaleidoscope of color, or is it just in your feeling nature? You just feel it so palpably. Or is it in your knowing? You just know that there's there. Now scan your body. Notice how that field has amplified within you. Notice how your heart has begun to coherently connect with that ball of energy down your arms, filling more and more light into your auric field and space around you in your field of energy. Wonderful to get to know where you start and where you end in your auric field. We are limitless and boundaryless. But for now, we will bring ourselves back as we go into the next exercise. Thank you. Does anyone want to share their experience on experiencing, creating a sense of energy within you and your inner being? And then does anyone feel anything and want to share? Sure.
Yes, Angela.
Oh, go ahead, Linda, and then Lauren. Okay, Linda, we can't hear you. Yeah, you're not muted. So sorry, dear. How about you, Lauren? You wanted to share?
Oh yeah. So at first I didn't really feel much, but then when I allowed it to just come through, you could feel like you were saying, like a magnetic pulling, and when I would allow it to pull away, you could feel again like the resistance was less. So it was really interesting feeling the smooth pulling in. Yeah.
Right. Did anyone feel light? Did anyone feel heat? Yeah.
Hi,
Marie?
Sherry. Yeah, I did actually. Tons of heat, but I also started to feel it in my feet.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, you become consciously aware of how it is the essence of you. You become so, your inner being is one of the most beautiful places to connect with. It's where our soul connects with the energy around us and with our guides and our life path, right? So really allow yourself to experience the divinity within you more and more through the guided meditation coming up at the end, which is exercise 5. So thank you for sharing that. Did anybody else want to share? And Linda, can you hear, does this work? I've tried to, there, you're unmuted.
This is Angela, not Linda.
Hi, Angela, go ahead.
Yes, when I was pulling my palms apart, I felt like I was pulling apart a magnet. I could actually feel a magnetic field. And then when I was pushing them back together, it was like putting the opposite sides of a magnet together and feeling that repulsion. So it was so it was quite amazing, very exciting.
Absolutely. Some people actually in this exercise will change their palms. So if you want to take a moment and experience this, playing around, the energy is always available at any second. It's just our awareness of it. We don't have to generate a heat. We don't have to do a method or be attuned to it. We are it. Wonderful.
Great, thank you.
Thanks for sharing. I'm going to look at, I'm going to keep an eye on my comments too. So if you also want to share with us, continue to do so in the comments and however way that you are comfortable with. So back to the slides because, yeah, without touching slowly, that's what energy healing is all about. So we have the ability to read information, every chakra. There's so many ancient studies on how many chakras there are. They are endless. I think the last one of the ancient Indian methods, I forgot what it was called. There's 112, and then others are, the old is the basics are, energy centers are shown depicted as 7. And I know in energy healing modalities, there are so many sub chakras, there's so many sub chakras. There's like, we are full of them, like the meridians in the Chinese study that have the ability to map out the auric field in around the space around us into every single meridian point. And it's just such an ancient teaching, but we are seeing scientifically that it is showing up in many of those ways. And I just love to study this stuff. I love it. Can't get enough of it. So the next thing is we're going to do the mirroring. So that was to feel, but we want to now go into the emotions, because a lot of cases, guys, when we are opening ourselves up to experience an auric field, energy healing is one of the ways that our hands are like information dices, our eyes, our whole essence. The energy is already around it. It flows in and through us. Energy is light, it's emotions, and it comes with wisdom and so many things, and it flows through us. And sometimes we block it out through our thinking, and our thinking thoughts and our separation and the heaviness because we think we're not good enough, or you're going into an interview and you're feeling not, this is what we're going to talk about. So we can really block our ability to experience our oneness and to tune into peace, love, joy, and all the essence of who we truly are. And we are opening up, and this is why I love to support light workers and people who want to come in for self-healing, because this is a beautiful beginning to work with your field of energy and your auric field. You begin to hold that light for others. You begin to open up and see into where someone's function of the ego is hanging out. And that is much what I consider, what I learned when I saw the officer sitting there with pockets of gook and heaviness, and I felt sorrow, was because that's where he was hanging out. The function of his ego was shame, despair, and guilt. And I was picking up on his story. So you're going to pick up on stories through your mirror. You're going to pick up on ailments, especially if you begin to open up and if that's something that you're comfortable for and it's your life path. Some people see, some people know, some people feel an energy. And then believe me, we are all aspects. There's nothing that we are essence of our metaphysical senses are all intact, smell and taste included. And we can also read the energy from there. So here we are not doing medical or addressing ailments. However, be aware when you're practicing or reading and doing your own aura clearing or holding the light for somebody else and seeing where they are in their aura. You might get an energy transference. You might get an eye tick, or you might feel, I was hugging my husband the other day and I immediately felt a buzzing on my knee, on the inside of my knee to the right. And I felt a buzzing and I mentioned it. I go, and he said that his knee was acting up again and he needed to put his brace on. And it was an injury 3 years ago. So we could hug the people we love or see strangers. Often I felt people, their ailments, whether they had a hearing issue or some sort of alcoholism or they were on medication, you could really feel there's no separation. But do not limit yourself. But today we're going to talk about emotions, because that is one of the most profound ways in which the aura field is basically what I was saying was, and we're using the basic model just as an example to keep it very simple for beginners. But you could feel emotion. You could don't even maybe not know that it's yours, and you could feel somebody when they're sore or they're happy or excited or anxious. I could feel when people are very anxious. It affects me very much, and I've learned how to be in the energy and observe it, but not be it. And that's in a course, Empath Empowerment, and it's. If you are experiencing those things, then I have a course, because there's a way out and there's a way for you to manage it and become empowered and use it as a gift. But today we're just talking about how to see, how to feel, how to experience it. So here we go. I want you to now, vibration will hang out in certain energy centers, and it's common the way it shows up. But what's not common is our perception around it. Right? And I'll talk to you about that. I just want to do a few for practice. So one of the things is, I want you to imagine where in your body, by taking your hands, tuning in with your energy being. It's a hand placement exercise. We're going to practice where our thoughts trigger an emotion. because that is what our auric field, our biological, chemical, that's how come it's always in flux. It's based on our thought and where we are physically toxic, right? So we want to be able to start to recognize where in our body we can read this information. And why would we want to know where the emotion of happy shows up? Why would we want to know that? Because if you could articulate the emotions about how you're feeling, or if you could mirror it from what somebody else is feeling without them telling the story, then you could become a healer, a clearer, or a light worker, or a therapist, or a psychic medium, or an auric. There's so many beautiful healing reasons why it's showing up. If you're an empath and a feeler, this can happen. But when you practice, this is a skill that you can learn and practice just like any other muscle. So trust me, we have all felt these emotions, and I've put incremental ones on the list. So here, are you ready? All your job is to do is I'm going to explain the scenarios, and you're going to pay attention by closing your eyes and just put your hands. If I say a word, say laughter, you might feel it in your ears, in your jaw, or your throat, or your belly, those big aha laughters. Or you might be a quiet laughter and you hold it in your heart, and you might feel the giggles on your throat and your upper heart. It's going to associate the way you are. So there's no right or wrong. So does this exercise make sense on mapping out emotions? Because if you could begin to learn the energy and channeling of energy, this is how mediums communicate. They feel the emotions of angels that convey messages. They convey the messages from deceased loved ones and discernment of the energy that's around them, within them, when they're making a decision. They're going to know this excites me, it's good, or oh no, be careful, it's not a good path, right? Being a self-regulator, being somebody who could tap in and articulate their emotions is the highest form of intelligence. So we're going to start now. So use your hands to map out in your body where you might experience happiness. Where does happiness hang out? I'm feeling it actually throughout my whole torso and through my whole head. Happiness just encompasses me. It opens me up and expands my energy centers. It's an expression outward. I feel it more front heavy than back. Okay, we're going to share after. I'd love to go through this, and then I want you guys to experience them, and then we'll share after. The next one is excitement. Just say that you won a scratch ticket and there's like $100, or you just won lottery, or you have this person that you haven't seen in so long that just showed up and called you out of the blue, or you just are so excited. Where does excitement show up in your chakras? And just so I could see you, show me with a placement of hands where in your body that shows up. So some of you are putting it on your heart, on your throat. Wonderful. Okay. So this one's really good. Impatience. Okay. You're waiting in line and the guy in front of you is it's a green light and you have to get somewhere in 10 minutes, and this guy is on his text message. Impatience. How about, where does that show up? Impatience. You have a teen that's practicing on a squeaky recorder all day while you're trying to do your work, but you want her to learn how to be musically talented. That's mine. That was mine today. Impatience might be that you just can't wait to get this job done so you could go watch that movie. How does that feel? I'm feeling it. I've got a clammed, congested solar plexus, my stomach. I have impatience, like I've got a heaviness on my shoulders, like I can't get there. My neck feels like it's stretching out. So you could feel it very subtly, or you just might feel it as heat, or just a sparkling presence. So the next one is a scary movie, edgy and suspense. Like I'm in my heightened sense of fear, and I'm like in a sense of all up heavy, and my root chakra is like really, I'm like tense, even my muscles engage. And I feel it in my upper heart. It's a worry. It's a worry energy in my upper heart and throat. That's suspense. It's like I'm glued. I'm like paralyzed. I'm like glued. Do you feel that? Yeah. So, job interview. I was in an elevator and I felt a stranger came in and she had this energy of, I don't know what to say. I hope I'm liked. And she was pacing back and forth in her feet. And I knew it was a job interview. So when she got off the elevator, I said, good luck at your job interview. And she goes, how did you know? And I was like, I don't know. I have to figure this out. This was like years ago before I even figured out how to manage with us. So job interview, you want it, you don't feel confident. It's a job that you feel like sometimes you may be reaching because of the financial abundance it brings you. Or maybe it's like you have so much to be of service to, you can't wait to show them how useful you are. What does that feel like for you? Because it could be different for everybody, a job interview. For me, I'm feeling pretty judged and I'm hoping they like me, and it's all in like my expression on my face wants to, I'm nervous, but I'm trying to force a smile. I feel it, and then I'm going to bring awareness to it and calm it. That's what we're doing next. We're going to bring clearing to it. But where do you feel it? Do you feel it in your solar plex because it's all about your mental identity about who you are, and your stomach is tight and it's up into your rib cage of being judged? Okay, feel it. I'm helping you to get to know how to communicate with your soul, because it's beautiful communication. Now, let's move into the other end of the spectrum of slipping into a hot tub. You know that feeling of your muscles being hugged by that warm embrace of the heat and the bubbles, and you just know with the Epsom salts and the sea salt, it's going to just cleanse you. It brings my whole auric field down into my root chakra. I have now become more aware of my body's feeling. I can feel my body more when I consider the emotions of being at peace. And you will have your own. You will have your own. The other one, giving a compliment to a friend. You know that feeling of, I'm just so grateful for you? Notice, are you someone who has free expression and you're very authentic and you're so open heart, it's easy for you to express yourself? If so, you're going to feel it front forward and ease, and you're going to feel your heart and your throat just. But if you are nervous to share your gratitude, if you're nervous to give somebody a compliment or afraid to be rejected, then you may have a different experience, whichever shows up for you. And the last one is to hug a child, or to just, a pet that you love, the snuggles. Oh, you're so cute. You know that feeling? How does that feel? It immediately just brought warmth to my whole being. Felt love. I felt it all down into my heart and my stomach. It just felt like this warmness. Yeah. So now I want to go to each of you, because it's important that I have you. I want to hear from each of you on how that experience showed up. Okay, everybody's fine. First of all, maybe you can just show up your hand. Did you feel an energy shift with each emotion? Okay, wonderful. So if you want to open up and be a communicator and really discern what your angels and guides want you to know, practice that tool. Because the more you can articulate the emotions that are coming through you, that's how divine communicates, your emotional guidance system. It's the number one thing I can't tell you enough to practice, especially if you're going to work in the energy fields. But it's not essential, because it's wonderful, and I really recommend it because you can articulate how you feel and you're more authentic. But if you're just practicing, you will become aware of it. It will devolve. It will evolve, and it will become more consciously aware to you. So let's go on. I want to get to the next slides. Okay. So here we go. So the next one is seeing the divinity in others. So one of the things is we are so closed off most of our waking day. We are in automatic thinking and doing, and we are not conscious of being present moment. That's why the mindfulness and concentration and meditation and yoga and mindfulness is so important to practice, because we begin to, if you are developing a spiritual practice for yourself, for self-development, or to be of service, begin to give yourself permission to see the divinity, not just in yourself, but in other people. We have closed ourselves off out of fear because of, don't take candy from a stranger, right? Be cautious. You never know who you meet. All those that are so instilled in us that every stranger, we become a heightened sense of, are we safe? And we are judging. We're coming from a place. And, in this day of world, we know we're in the physicality and we have to be aware. But at the same time, it's also closing down our ability to see into somebody's divinity. And I often, when I do my angel readings, my divine communication channeling, and I have a client that sits in front of me, I have been trained as a light worker to open that space to see the divinity within them, their auric field, how it's showing up, but also to become aware of the function of the ego, which is like that policeman who had all of the fear and the hate, the self-loathing. But there's also this angelic presence, this beautiful divine essence of their soul that you are never separate from. It is an aspect of who you are that you want to get to know more of and in others. So it's like a stained glass window. And when I look at it like a stained glass window, I see all the colors and all of the energy, and I feel the emotions, and I hear the thoughts, but I also see dust on the stained glass window analogy, which will show up as a feeling in my stomach or a color on their auric field, or it will just be the two aspects of the energy, the divinity within them and what they're calling for on what they're calling for in their heart. Perhaps they're having stress and you see this person as client or your friend sitting in front of you, and you really notice in your body that they're heavy, and then you feel that they have some anxiety. You can feel it in your body. And then when you look at them, you begin to notice that they have energy around their head, like they're worrying, or you might see color of streams of red trying to ground them. So we're going to go into the color next. But the auric field is a rich palette of information. To feel it with your hand, right? You could use the energy. You can have one of the things that we do in the in-person workshop, and I took that slide out, is sitting in a chair, and you have a partner, and you have that person sitting in the chair, and you sit across from each other, and you allow yourself to see. And then the other part is you give yourself permission to go into their auric field and feel, much like we did with the hands. You can begin to actually close your eyes and open your eyes and connect with the layers, because we know that the physical body is the layers of the etheric layers, which is, it's physical, it's emotional, it's mental, and spiritual. And that is the layers that you will see, the physical. And then when you put your hands in your awareness during our meditation, you might even feel the first layer in your own body. And join me, put your hands up and feel the layers. Our divinity, our divine, we have a physical layer. Sometimes I could really feel a very big energy around my heart, or I could feel it around my stomach. Just notice and intentionally ask, where is my physical aura? If I had a headache, it would be a lot different, but I feel good today. So it's very nice and low to the body, and it's buzzing very nice. I don't feel prickly or heavy, and I don't feel any bubbles out to the left or globs of mushrooms or sparks, right? We could feel it. And this is how we could also feel an aura of a person sitting in front of us on a chair or on a healing table, or even our own loved one, right? Practice seeing the divinity in others. And now we're going to go to the next layer, and it's emotions. And that usually hangs out about 6 inches to a foot away, depending on where you are. And I'm beginning to feel, and you could also see them as color. But don't get caught up with trying to see color. Just allow your hand to feel and close your eyes and see what comes up, because you may see lots of different colors that are representative of information, which we're going to go into. So we've got the physical, and then we've got the emotional, and then we've got the mental. Oh my gosh, my mental light body is out there because I'm in my thoughts, and I'm sharing my wisdom, and I'm trying to channel the words. So I'm really out here. It's feeling like a mushroom when I bounce back off of it. And you probably are in your mental body as well, taking in the words, keeping an open mind, right? To key in on what resonates with you and what makes sense for you. So you may also have a big mental mind. So now let's breathe in and center ourselves and see if there's a shift. Breathe out. Oh my gosh, it just collapsed. And now it's going back out a bit. Just notice where that is for you. So the mental body is quite large. And now allow yourself to intentionally inquire and just be shown in your perimeter on where your spiritual ether essence begins. I feel it here. I feel it all around here in my shoulders. And when I pull away, it's like a magnet. I feel like I'm actually feeling energy being pulled out of my body. See if you could feel that, or warmth, or... So that is one way of tuning in and feeling an energy. You can practice this if you have family members or people that you know, when you can begin to social connect. You practice these amazing divine aspects that are within us and allow yourself to see the divinity in others. And we're going to talk about clearing and cleansing and picking up stuff that you don't want as well. But right now, we're not going to get into that. So the color wheel is information. Remember I said red is like the root chakra? Well, what is the root chakra all about? Fear. It's about ensuring that we're safe, that our needs can be met. It's all about our material satisfaction, and our physical governs our body, governs our health, right? And then the next chakra, our emotions. So you might see red all around if it's a healthy. And then the emotion is the next layer, right? That's the second layer, emotional layer. And it is orange in the chakras and the wheel, the color wheel, that most people may have a beautiful orange chakra, which is about desire, creativity. It's about self-nurturing and being able to articulate your emotions. It's your creative dreams that we manifest with taking action on, right? It's all those things that we want to cultivate and nurture. And that is our emotions, how we're feeling. Then the next layer that's out is our mental body. And often when it's healthy and aligned, it'll be colors and shades of yellow. We'll often be shown that it's yellow, brilliant shades of vibrant, rich, deep, like brownie, golden yellows of protection and safety, because the mental is all about who we think we are and how we've labeled ourselves and the power that we give, the laughter that we allow. It's our mental concepts, right? That's where our energy body of our mental, and we could limit ourselves with our judgments and our thoughts. Our mental body, if we think we have to play small in certain environments, we're going to create energy vibrations of insecurity and doubt and fear. So when we know who we are, we have a will that's so compassionate, and we're really good at asserting ourselves. We're going to have a big, wide, healthy yellow circle around us. And most people who have that are really, they're really strong. They're living their life purpose. They're really good intellectuals. They have an understanding about who they are. And they're very grounded. So that yellow energy could be also joy. They could express themselves and be happy. And they, it's a great assault. And oh yeah, it's chaos right now, but I'm laughing. Got to have a sense of humor. So there's ways to feel and see the body. Let's move up to the heart, because that's the emotions as well. And when we feel into the heart, that is like the spirit realm. When we are open, this is the thing. If you have a healthy, opened, aligned root chakra, which is red, emotion center, which is orange, and you have a really healthy, aligned concept of who you are and you're authentic, you will have such a spiritual openness through your heart center. It won't be shut down and wavering and protective. It won't be burdened. It will be full of forgiveness, compassion, and unconditional love. That's the spirit realm. And we tap in and we tune into it, okay, if we're safe. So you may see an auric field with they're not going to show up and have these perfect colors and these perfect alignments. The mental body could be huge and the heart chakra could be down and minuscule. And you may see, right, when we look at the stained glass window, we're going to see the soul, and we're going to also take a look at the function of the ego. And this is an advanced step, but I'm planting the seed for you. All I want you today is to become aware that color is emotional energy. Color shows up as beings of love and light. So you're not just tuning in and tapping in to color, but there's so many spiritual teachings out there that show, and with my own path and all of the energy modalities that I've studied, I'm not always going to see red in the root chakra. I'm not always going to see a brilliant yellow in the solar plexus. I'm going to see the function of the ego showing up. I'm going to see a ball of energy or an entity with a color. So I'm going to now go one step further. If I'm doing an auric reading and I see somebody now, say that guy at the bar, and he was sitting there and I saw the function of his ego, which was the dark gook, and I was feeling heavy. It is my job as a light worker that we hold the light. We could see the fear energy, but we know that fear is a creation from our mindset and where we're hanging out, and where we give our truths to. We could create fear that you're not good enough, but we know that a beautiful chakra alignment is safe and physically okay, and they're able to articulate their emotions, and they have a good sense of who they are, and they can have a good laugh, and they have a strong will. You don't have to be perfect in all of these chakras. And what I'm saying is, when you sit down with somebody, you're going to be able to see both. You're going to be able to see where spirit is bringing love and light to, because that is your divine essence. But you're also going to notice and feel the way in which our ego shows up in this physical world and holds us back and blocks us. So that's what energy healing is all about. And that's why the auric field is so fascinating for me. It's because I can begin to see both aspects of the function of the ego and the divinity within that person. So the policeman sitting at the bar had heaviness over him. What I would see was the energy of blue saying, you are innocent, you are loved, you are loving. Because the more that we are hanging out in fear, the more we are calling forth for that energy. So when I see my clients in the auric fields and the aura readings, I see such a buildup of God's love that comes through colors and angels and whatever form that you perceive them to be in. And I've come to know that there is a wealth of beings, ascended masters and elementals, even deceased pets come through, sometimes as orbs and sometimes as beings of color. And that color signifies the energy that they are wanting to heal, whether they know it or not. And so when they get out of their way and they have an aha moment, they let that in and it's healing. So my aura field is the ability to see both I hold the light of that peace and love that comes through. And I see people, a lot of pink from Archangel Jophiel, the pink energy. The pink energy for me shows up with my clients who are really tough on themselves, who really are, they don't have the ability to really see things, to focus on what they can appreciate. They're very hard on themselves, and so they're very conscious of being critical thinkers on themselves and others. So when I see that pink energy, I remind them that Archangel Jophiel is working with you, and I get both. I feel the heaviness, and I might get symbols that they don't, that they're really hard on themselves, or they don't think that they did this good enough, or they're trying to find the energy, but they don't believe that they can. It's a doubt, and it's Archangel Jophiel. So in an aura reading, I would say, is bringing you beauty of thoughts, and that's what Archangel Pink energy would show up. So I don't want to get into this because this is an advanced course, but I wanted to tell you that color signifies aspects of our divinity, and it's a wealth of information. And we can have a whole course on color. And I think that there should be, because what you represent as yellow, joy or intellect or analytical or whatever, is your unique way in which divine will tell you it's yellow. So I don't want you to get it caught up on the color, but the basic colors, if you want to learn them, spirit will use your knowledge to work with you. It's a template you're building. But do what I was doing as well. I would see shades of peach and orange and they would merge in, and nobody's ever seen these colors. I would say, what does this mean? And I would inquire. That is not built into our time together this evening. But I highly recommend that you consider learning when you look at the auric field and you're tuning in, inquire is our next step. And so this is eventually becoming a whole freaking day workshop, guys. And I'm sorry, but I'm going to get into that. I feel like there's so much information. So I wanted to sum it up. And it's basically using all of your senses, your way in which you close your eyes and you see light or color or images or shades. Maybe you don't see, and that's okay. Open your eyes. Allow yourself to, now we're going to pull out the black top because I want us to be able to begin to see things with our eye closed and opened, because we're going to use a background. One of the things that I do, and I'm going to close this. So are you ready? That was a lot of information, and I appreciate you guys following along. And I realized that I still want to do a cleansing meditation with us. So if you want to get up and grab water, go to the washroom, I would love for us to do that. But if you want to grab your top, if you haven't all done so, you can as well. Yeah. And I'm just reading while I'm doing that. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for sharing, guys. I'm just reading that. And these are to all panelists, so everybody can read the chats. And I'm so excited. Yeah, you could feel the pain. And even your daughter, Nina. Yeah, absolutely. So thanks for sharing. Keep sharing if you'd like. So if you're ready, one of the things that I do, and I'm going to hold this up, is what I do is I go to a black TV screen, or because we're here, we can't do that. We're going to do it on a black top. One of the most amazing ways to use light and color to see your aura is literally choosing, like, try both of them. Try a white background. Now, it would be very next to impossible for you to see through this unless you close your metaphysical sight, you can. But with your naked eye, you would have to really learn how to focus. So here's the step. So place in front of you your black top. Put it on your table that's in front of you. Wonderful. And I want you to be able to rub your hands and connect with your inner being again. Just close your eyes and really feel that inner essence of energy. And then when you've connected through the breath and with experiencing the energy, maybe you want to start with feeling it in your heart and then allow it to pour down into your hands, which is what I do. And then begin to become one with your hand and feel that energy. And I want you to now place your hands so that the black top is your background, and softly open your eyes and begin to look at the white light that's sparking and hazing in between your hands. Soften, and you maybe even want to use your eyes. So just soften your eyes and then kind of just open them and look through your hands. Don't look at your skin. Look through this space. Is anyone able to see a subtle white shade? And if you want, you could, dim your light. I like dim light. Bright light tends to overcast the white light on my hands. So if you have a dimmer, that helps. Using light is so amazing. Yeah, wonderful. Another way, if you go, spread your fingers, practice spreading your fingers. And now if you are able to see the white light, Go in and begin to feel it and pull it and see how you can actually begin to manipulate and how it just goes right back. And if that's something that's not available to you, just keep practicing. Who here is able to see with their physical eyes a white haze around their hands with the black background? Excellent. Excellent. Now I want you to experience your hands when you come down with your fingers and just see how when they create that ball of light, again, using your energy field to intentionally build it up. And then as you do so, open your eyes again and then just begin to really manifest. You're wider. My hands are really wide now, a foot apart, and I'm still seeing the energy, and I feel it as I push back. So now if anybody has an object or a cat or a dog or an object, place it in your hands, but don't put it on the top, because I find when it's too close to the black background, the subtle energy, it fades in my physical eyesight. So I have a crystal. If anyone has a crystal, you can even have any object. Oh, that was too sharp. Yeah. Do you have a crystal, a jewelry piece, maybe a fruit? Or wonderful, excellent. And now I want you to hover it over the black background, because you'll notice when you put it right down, you might be able to see it, but some people do better when they lift it up. Play with it. Oh, wow, now I'm really seeing it. And the black background seems to work for most people. So if you're struggling, that's okay, because I want you to now close your eyes. Use your hands as a way to read the energy field of the object. Allow yourself to just come and hover around it to see if you can sense or feel any subtle difference in the object. And then go as far as you can to its perimeter to see where it begins to fade and it trails off into oneness. So mine's only about 4 inches where I can really feel it. And that's one way I would love for you guys to practice and know it's really good if you can have a partner. And I know on this call it's difficult, but if you have a partner, a friend, even your pets, pay attention, like have a background, watch them where they're sitting, dim the light, and you'll be amazed at their thoughts and the way they project, and their energy starts to, whenever I see my dog and I get up, my dog's head shoots white light in different directions depending on what it's thinking. And I'm so amazed at the way our body produces such beautiful rhythm, right? So another way that we're going to talk about our tests tonight, I want to get through some more, is focusing. One of the ways is when, and of course we don't have a partner in front of us, but when you look in the mirror, I want you to look behind you or beside you, and it's called general focusing. So general focus at your object in front of you, because what you're literally doing is you're softening your gaze and you're becoming aware of the room around you. I could see my cabinet, I could see furniture, the picture on the wall here, and I'm seeing everything at once. And as I do so, I soften my gaze so that I become aware of the energy, sort of the space beside my crystal. So you could do that with people, animals, plants, trees. Keep a general focus. That's called softening your gaze. And practice that just for a moment and see if that helps. Be really connected with your inner being. Be grounded. That's where the power is. That's where your amplification of your consciousness is. Okay, could just be a subtle flicker or a little movement. So that is another amazing way that has helped me to develop, and especially when I'm sitting with a client in front of me, what I do is I'm not looking at their third eye, I'm not looking at their hair, I'm not looking at their stomach or their, like, looking for things. I allow myself to be shown. So allow yourself to be shown by generally focusing. And then when my client, or if I'm looking at my pet or the trees, I look generally all at my surroundings, and then I allow for it to be revealed. I allow the essence of the person's aura to be revealed. I don't go seeking, I allow it. So that's another brilliant way in which aura reading can be very helpful in practicing. So does this make sense? Is this something we can practice with if you have somebody that would be in your family, or practice with objects, and use your hands when you go up to a TV screen or a black background? Begin to look. Also, I wanted to add, at night, when you close your light and you meditate and you're open, one of the things I forgot to mention is I always create a sacred space and ask for Archangel Michael to come in and only allow beings of love and light. That's sacred space is so important when you work with the energy in the invisible world. And then after, when you are praying for love and light, I always allow myself to be general focus, and I see the field of energy. The field of energy, it's like strands and strings, and it moves so fast. It's layers. It's like intricate little lines of smoke that goes in every direction around me, the cylinder of my body, this way as well, and this way. It's counterclockwise, clockwise, biodirectional, and it also is up and down in spherosphere. It's layers and layers. And when you become practiced in allowing yourself to generally see, play with the light in your room. Allow yourself to sit in a dark room with maybe a little bit of light coming through a window in the distance, just enough that will help the subtle vibration to become seen on a metaphysical way. And I started seeing that when I did meditation, and I don't see the field of energy just by sitting there. It takes me meditation to go in and relax to see it, but anybody can do it. So that's another way of practicing seeing your auric field, sitting in a dark room as well, or with white light behind you. There's a smaller percentage of people that have the ability to see auras with a white light behind. I'm more of a dim light person, and I sit. So if you're going to give someone a reading, here's how you may want to situate your seat. Have a lamp behind you. Have yourself sitting towards the less lit room so that there's a bit of darkness behind your client. Don't put them in front of a window. Put them on a wall, or you could have the window at your back. But I don't recommend strong light unless it's dark. I do recommend a lamp behind you, because then when it casts forward, you have a darker background and their auras are so much easier to be seen with the naked eye. And you could practice this. Put in a room your pet or your friend or your family and practice that with them, and you will experiment with a black background or a white background. Most people prefer a darker background. So has this been helpful? Is this helpful to get a beginner to get going and to begin to open up, give yourself permission to see divinity? When I learned that, when my mentor said, Chris Couturian said to us in one of the modalities I studied, which was through Chris Couturian Rainbow Energy Healing, which is the meditation we're going to do. He said, give yourself permission to see divinity, Chrissy. Kirsten, see divinity in others. Like, open up and see a stranger on the street, see a person on the train. You know, it's not like we're peeking through windows like a psychic and spying on them. No, it's just being open to seeing that, and practice that. Okay, so I wanted to, with the grounding and clearing meditation, we talked about the objects and looking, yeah, we got all of that. And what was the fifth exercise? It is group practice. Oh, if we had time, but I don't know if you guys are wanting to rush off because my meditation will probably take 15 minutes. But do you want to do a group scan? You know how does anybody want to practice on someone here? Because we could do remote auric readings. We don't have to be present because we're one, we're all connected. And what we use is we scan our metaphysical senses and we inquire. We might feel energy on our body. We might actually see the colors around the layers of our aura. Or we might feel an emotion, or we might just have this knowing, like in our peripheral space, that there's something going on. So is this something, this is something I want to challenge you, but are you comfortable with having one or two people just say, what color do you see around me? Or or we could just ask to see what color. It's as simple as that. So I wanted to check to see if this is something that you guys are ready to practice. Are you ready to kind of test that out and see if we could just tune in to someone? You have permission to tune into me. So if you want to take a moment, I would love to open up. I know that I trust that this is an experiment for teaching, for love and light. I don't ask for a reading. All I want to know is when I allow myself to be, when I open up, I want you to go into a place that's closing your eyes, give you permission to see what you sense in and around me. I'm an open book. I'm yours to practice and study. So you could close your eyes and open your eyes and try out both, but I'm going to lead you through a quick experiment. So close your eyes and allow yourself to just connect with the grounding where the power is. Perhaps you just immediately feel your physical weight like a magnet to Mother Earth, pulling you down. And as you breathe in and out, you relax all your muscles in your belly, in your back. You get comfortable in your chair and you just open up to a posture of receiving. And as we breathe in, we can just feel the energy, that beautiful essence of our soul becoming more and more built up and amplified as we become aware with each breath. Inhale and exhale. So take a few breaths. Thank you. I see Angela's already noticing some blue light around me. Thank you. And you, Angela, I challenge you, inquire, ask, what does that mean? What does that blue light mean around Kirsten? And see what layer of information flows into you. Inquire. And we know that we have Archangel Michael surrounding us and we're safe and we're confidently opening up our abilities to tune in from God's will, blessings and love. And I give you permission just to close your eyes, see in your mind's eye. Are there any colors? Are there any feelings in your body like a mirror that you're picking up on? Maybe there's a feeling in your peripheral, in the layers of your auric field that you're coming to experience. Perhaps in your energy centers, there's buzzing or heat, or a visual, just a color. And open up and be a surrender. And when you're ready, you can share. Oh, 3 shades around me. Geraldine, that's amazing. The shadows. They could be my guides. They could be spirit guides or my family, deceased loved one. Ask and inquire. I know this isn't a mediumship reading, but you know every single thing is, every mediumship reading, any psychometry or past life or any spiritual method, energy healing, it's all done through our senses. It's all done through the tool of what we see, hear, feel, and know. My stomach has been orange ball on top, also stinging on my temples, tingling on my temples. Wonderful. So ask. Carol, that's beautiful. Carol, ask and inquire. Yellow pyramid. I'm curious. That sounds like a reading coming out there. Yellow pyramid with an orange ball on it. What does that mean? You are so clairvoyant, guys. Beautiful. Just going to turn up my volume. And so thank you so much. You might even have an image or visual or message, but thank you for trying. And now I wanted to go through, and just before we go into the meditation, just before we do that, and I thank you so much because I know that I have gone over, and I am really honored that you're hanging out and spending time with me. But it's going to be worth it because the guided meditation, if you want, we can make it a clearing. It's a part of your auric field, clearing and healing. But I wanted to show you how we can keep a clear aura field. I don't want to let you run away without having all the energy. And of course, if you have to go, I understand. And you can always watch the recording. But we have energy healing rainbow, which I wanted to introduce as a profound one. There's a million ways to healing and enlightenment. And just one more way, it's a profound healing tool that I wanted to bring in. The rainbow energy is exactly what we're talking about. I thought how fitting. It's all about the auric field. It's all about all aspects of creation. So that's one way to help yourself to overcome. Sea salt baths. Of course, I spelt sea wrong. I put it as the seeing with the eyes. So there's the opportunity to cleanse, and it's scientifically proven that the iodines and the way in which the sea salt and works with our auric field, it calms it down and clears and detoxes it, not just on the auric field, but our physical. And also food and supplements. So if you know that you are having clogged, if you know that you're feeling sluggish or heavy, and you know intuitively, because in most cases we know what our body wants, we crave it. I see oranges, and sometimes I see spinach, and I'm like, my body is speaking to me through symbols, like it's showing me these foods, and I know I need it for my iron level. So we could tap in and tune into it, or we could actually ensure, because the more that our physical body is not slugging and healing, we have a lot more vitality, and you don't have to be in perfect health. You can have, but just do your best to manage. And meditation and yoga is another way. Walking in nature is incredible. It really does when you allow it, and when you go out with the intention, especially if you got overwhelming, busy anxiety, and you go outside to nature, not to think it through and keep analyzing, but to become aware and breathe and be one, you begin to just, it pulls it out of you. It's like a magnet. It just takes away that vibration, and you feel so clear and lightheaded, and you've got like aha moments. So nature is awesome. Bare feet on the grass, if you're earthing, look at the sun, allow your third eye to have sun gazing, not for like hours, just a few seconds in the morning, helps to regulate what's already available to us, those cycles, a pineal gland, and gets that going. Mental support. So if you are having like a lot of people who I have hidden trauma, or they haven't overcome, they haven't really figured out who they are, and they're playing small, whatever level of mental support that is, or mental issues. If your mental body is just always so heavy, and you're never grounded, and you're making mistakes, and you're just not feeling aligned, then have energy work. Have a work reading, or psychic medium, or counselor, therapist to help you. Many of the things that I overcame were because somebody showed me the way. Somebody reminded me of who I am. So therapists, and they help you to overcome those blocks so that we can have a clear healing, not just in our energy, but we heal our thoughts, we heal our emotions, we heal our life. Like our thoughts basically create a reality. So another thing is self-help path. It's literally about the self-help path. And then cleansing tips is lots of things. I don't want to get into it, but if you are looking for more information, I can help you to go take this to the next level. So there's a lot of information. You have to be willing to listen. Everybody has the ability to hear the voice of God if they're willing to listen. So I hope that makes sense to you. So guys, thank you. I'm going to go into the meditation, but I wanted to say quickly the next steps is all about coming out. Do you want to develop your ability, your intuitive abilities? You want to strengthen the aspect of your connection with yourself. You really get to know who you are, really connect with your inner being, and have a relationship with your divine team of helpers, the infinite support and love that's available. I have a free course that's coming up next Wednesday, and you could sign up on Meetup or let me know and I'll send you a link. I also have a divine online course coming up. It's starting June 23rd, and it's 7 full weeks to overcome our blocks and our ego, to really delve into our intuitive abilities and energy centers for clearing. That's where the mailbox of information is. That's where the universe is within us. And that's all that we seek is within us. And if we want to have wisdom and understanding about life, going into yourself is the portal into all that is. It's a oneness. So learning how to go into yourself and discern and open up to the realms that are so eager to help, and to learn how to wield it, learn to know who's with you, relationship readings. By the time we're done in 7 weeks, you're going to be able to provide this space as a light worker. You're going to be able to open up and give a reading around health and well-being, life purpose, career and life, and career path and relationships. So that's coming up, and I'm so excited about that. I have a few people already, and reach out to me if you have not yet had a clarity call, a one-on-one offer for one per person. And it's a call to see where you are on your spiritual journey. Perhaps I have some divine guidance to help you to be unblocked or to get you on your path to the right track. Or you also want to hear about these courses that I have. I'd love for you to connect with me. And it's my gift to you for showing up today. And it's valued at $84, at $84.75. And it's usually about anywhere from 20 minutes to a half hour. So are there any questions before I go into the guided meditation? So all the information that I just delivered, is there anything that has stuck out most for you that you're taking away? So I'm just reading the comments. Okay, so nothing yet. Okay then. So then we are ready to go into this meditation. And I do want to honor your time. So by the looks of it, it's, I don't have my glasses on, it's 9:09. I promise that we will finish within 15 minutes. And if you don't have this time for this beautiful angelic presence, oh, thank you, Angela. You can drop off, and I would not be offended. I understand the time. But if you would love to join us for this meditation, please stay on for 10, 15 minutes as I guide you through a beautiful process by invoking the angelic realm and cleansing and clearing fear and allowing us to be able to see into our abilities or in divinity. So I'll begin the music and just get comfortable. You can just sit really comfortable, putting your feet on the floor if you would like, or cross-legged, whatever's available to you. And just become aware of the feeling of your weight in the chair, that beautiful support that's available to you. Just surrender now. Just allowing yourself to tune in. Tuning in to your physical body. You might begin to feel your clothes on your skin. You can begin to feel the temperature in the room. You can begin to feel the heat or the subtle energies that are showing up and around the environment. Now, as you begin to notice the sounds in the environment. Perhaps you can hear noises in the room or out in the external environment, from pets or traffic, and just allow yourself to close your eyes. When you close your eyes, you heighten your metaphysical senses, your internal connection with your inner being. You shut down any stimulation your brain will pick up on from the external environment, and you become more present in this space. Just close your eyes. And as we do so, we now begin to feel into our body. Perhaps you're just noticing your breath, noticing the feel of the way in which your belly rises and your rib cage expands as you take in this energy. And now allow yourself to feel the energy around your heart space. And opening yourself up to that vibration of peace and love that's already an aspect of who you are. And as we do so, we open our heart with prayer and invite the beautiful blessings of rainbow energy healing today. We invite the Archangel Michael, who surrounds us with beautiful warmth and strength, like a cloak of a hat or a beautiful blanket around you. He just warms you like a hug. You might feel the golden energy or the deep blues that signify his safety and protection in this moment around you. Just immerse with this beautiful healing energy of Archangel Michael. Just noticing also the beautiful rainbow energy healing Archangel Raziel, the wizard, the keeper of all secrets of the universe that knows our soul and our journey. Archangel Metatron, that zappy energy of vibration that heals and mends our energy field, the grid that surrounds us. Notice as you connect with these beings, these ancient aspects of creation, that likeness of God, it is God coming through us, pouring through us, shifting, healing, and vibration. As we breathe in, we become aware of ribbons of light, deep, deep shades of cosmic purples that are all around you from the heavens above. Become aware and clear into your crown chakra. Noticing that they pours in like a shower of liquid light into your crown and beyond, pouring down into your being, your essence, all in through your mind, your brain, into the back of your neck, into the connection of your neurological nervous system down your spine, trickling like a cool shiver of light. Beautiful, deep, white, pure lights that are made up of all colors of existence pours like a shower of pure white essence down into your being, cleansing and clearing all areas of non-useful thought in your mind, in your words not said, in your heart chakra, in your heart, things that are held on, that are not pure of thought, that you want forgiveness on, or just not useful, and allow you to shed and dissolve and disintegrate that beautiful layer of mental body, of physical tension and emotional charged energy that's no longer serving you. Just allow this beautiful light to shower through your whole being, down into your root chakra, your legs, down into the floor, leaving nothing behind but love and light, each shade. And now begin to experience the third eye chakra, the indigo blues. Notice how your third eye fills up, and there's this brilliant healing energy that awakens you to see into all aspects of past, present, and future without judgment. Being able to really experience clairvoyance, clear seeing, without fear, and being comfortable with your beautiful divinity of seeing beautiful colors and shades of light within yourself and with others. And as this light emerges, it just feels like a soft, warm glow that opens up and becomes one with your whole head and begins to penetrate down into all aspects of your energy body below, the throat, your shoulders, your back, just filling up with this beautiful immersing light and energy down into your heart, your belly, your solar plexus, into your reproductive organs and your sacral, where your emotions are, cleansing and clearing anything that's not useful, fear-based energy, down into your root chakra, any worries about seeing an uncertainty about the future, or recognizing that you are connected, that you are one, seeing the divinity and the oneness that's already present. And allowing that light to be your truth, dissolving and disintegrating any falseness that's not serving you, any fear-based energies of separation. Filling up your root chakra, you may be experiencing a vibration that has increased and expanded in your field of energy. Allow yourself to open up and expand as we continue to bring in beautiful green emerald light of this healing spirit realm. And we allow this beautiful green emerald light, which is the healing essence of Archangel realm of Archangel Raphael and all the other eminence of earth healing, of Mother Nature and Gaia, of that realm of these saints that have gone before, like Mother Teresa and Jesus, that were just so compassionate and open. Feel that beautiful essence now. It is peace and liberation. Surrender now. Embody these beautiful gifts in this moment and allow this energy to immerse and become one with you in your heart and essence now. As you breathe this energy in, allow it to pour out of your heart, down your back and your arms, and fill your field with healing light even more. And as it does, it dissolves and disintegrates any unuseful fear-based energy that you've bought into and believed that you were not forgiven, or that shame or guilt. It's just dissolved. Jesus is, you are innocent. The holy oneness of universal source energy, whatever you wish to call this, love and light, healing energy, the holy essence is pouring and penetrating through every cell of your 50 trillion cells in your body, aligned with your heart and mind and being, pouring and penetrating and deepening into every aspect from head to toe and beyond. And as we allow this to become an immerse with us, we open up the realm of the mental healing by pouring through the yellow shades of energy, vibration, and healing all the way down our mind, balancing our left and right brain, bringing clarity and resolution-oriented thinking processes and deep wisdom from the vibration of the intuition, all-knowing, all-wisdom, all-power access. Portal into the infinite mind. Allow this brilliant light to be one with God's mind now. It is warm and beautifully heat and welcoming and ready to be used and put to use. Allow it to melt like butter down into your essence, your throat, your shoulders, your heart, your torso especially. Allow it to dissolve and disintegrating any illusions of mental thoughts of who you think you are and you've labeled yourself. Feel it release and surrender you now. As you breathe in, you just feel more and more at peace. And that warm liquid light of this infinite God's infinite mind, accessible, to us at any time of a channel of love and grace is available now. Anchor that into your being, into your solar plexus. And feel the shift as you will it to be so. As we are now in a more extended state of confidence, and we scan and tune into this beautiful essence, we have become one with all creation. We now reach for one final aspect of creation, and it's the manifestation, the reds, the realm of physical creation itself, where all life is born, where we have manifested into the physical form. We draw upon this red light now. And in so doing so, we embrace that final piece to become whole in our conscious awareness. Notice the prickling sensations, the vibration of all that is, aligned with all that is in the earth, the animals, the soil, the beautiful energy of the coal and natural sources that are of abundant to us. Just bringing yourself to the crystals in the center of the earth, feeling the rhythm of Mother Gaia, a beautiful frequency of healing. And as we connect in this plane, we open ourselves up to the Creator's mind. That who we are is the creation. We are creation. We are God, essence of oneness, here to create and to experience. So allow yourself to sit in this energy where we have our power. And when we are connecting with this beautiful energy, this red, it is healing to the physical body. So allow wherever you need to in your physical body to fill with this red essence. Archangels that show up, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangels Ariel of mind and earth. You might feel their presence of love and warmth hovering behind you with their hands on the back. You might feel caresses at your cheeks, warmth in your body. Just be one with all aspects of the realms that are available and flowing through you now. Using your intuitive senses, just allow yourself to feel and to see and to hear. And to know, opening that all-knowing, that wisdom. And as we come to a final close, we give thanks. We move ourselves up the ladder. From the root chakra, we give thanks to Mother Earth for all the beautiful supplies in abundance that we have and our safety that we can appreciate and have gratitude for that are present in our life. We give thanks to Mother Earth. And as we bring ourselves up to the next realm, we give thanks to all of the Archangel Haniel, to the realm of emotional guidance that gives us the desires, that keeps us on track, that helps us to discern. We give thanks to our emotions and the wisdom it brings when we tune into it like a signpost. And that helps us to know what our desires are and what our discontentments are. We give thanks to all those beautiful aspects of our spirit. We give thanks to the beautiful beings that we ask to continue to supporting us in the minutes, the days, the weeks, and the months ahead. And that we know when we open up and we ask and inquire that it is our birthright to be connected into a communication with the universe, and that is our birthright, and we are spirit itself. And we give thanks for the reminders in this time now, and all of the beings of Archangel Michael and all the beautiful realms of ascended masters. We give thanks, and we just give our hearts, close our hearts by allowing this energy to fill us as we bow our heads in gratitude for showing up. with our soul. And we begin to just feel our feet and hands as we become to the room with gratitude for our own essence, for the will that we've been gifted with, in alignment with the will of God, that we be guided to know and discern the difference. Blessings. Blessings. So I hope you enjoyed this guided meditation for healing. I'm super excited that all these showed up, and I will just open up. I'm not going to jump off, but if anyone does want to say goodbye, and I know we've gone a half hour over, and I do appreciate that. You'll receiving an email with the link and the video recording and the slides afterwards. So thank you so much. But I'm not jumping off. If you have questions, I'm just going to stop the recording whenever I get the cue from you. Oh, you're welcome, Angela. And thank you very much. I'm getting thank yous through the chat. Thank you, Nina. Thank you for showing
Thanks,
up with
Christine.
Divine Self. Thank you, Kareen.
I don't know how to do the chat, so I'll just talk to you.
I love it. I have a very feely group. Thank you. Thank you very much, Martha. Thank you, Jane. Appreciate that, Jane. Back at you. Okay, guys, I really appreciate the comments. So I think that pretty much is it. And we have 7 left. So I totally understand that some of you had to go. But I am going to stop the recording unless there's questions. Okay, wonderful.